Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hypnosis Hero. That's a place where you get hypnotized live right through the screen by a guest Hypnosis Hero. Now, this show is sponsored by the Hypnosis Hero app, which is my app. That's why it's sponsored by my app. So Hypnosis Hero allows you to be your own hero in using hypnosis. So go download it. It's in the Google Play Store. Someday I will have it in the Apple Store. It's more complicated in the Apple Store. Write to Apple. Tell them it's a pain. Plus, it's more expensive for me. All right. Not for you. It's free. But anyway, on the show tonight, so sadly, Brian, good friend, co-host. So I'm just finishing up my dinner. He couldn't be here today because he had a death in his circle of friends, and so he's taken the night off to grieve and spend some time with his friends for that. But we do have Shawn, producer Shawn, hypnotist Shawn Kostiuk has taken the reins, and he is going to be joining us as co-host tonight, as well as producer, as always. Shawn, good evening.
Good evening from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Saskatchewan. How cold is it now, Shawn?
For the people that follow the real temperature scale, it's Celsius. It's about -10 outside right now. For those of you that follow the Fahrenheit scale, I'd say we were probably somewhere around the 10, maybe 12 degree mark.
I lived in Yakima, which is in the middle of Washington State, near where our guest lives. And it got very cold there, and I would not want to go back to that kind of living. I'll be honest with you. Shawn, you're coming up on retirement soon, I'm guessing, looking at your advanced age. Florida, maybe?
No, I don't think I would go that far south. See, the one advantage of living in Saskatchewan, other than the occasional tornado, there isn't really much that's going to kill you. So, no gators, no water moccasins, no sharks, no. Well, I shouldn't say that. We've had some fish that have nibbled toes off of people. So,
yeah, I tell you that. It's Florida, man. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So, hey, we got a few people watching already, Shawn.
Yeah, I see that. We have Scott and Linda. And Linda says there's big, heavy snow falling in Utica. I suspect that's the same storm that Toronto is getting right now as well. That whole kind of northeastern seaward area.
Wow.
I know Scott had lots of rain this week in Texas. Great,
Texas. Not Albuquerque. Abilene. No, not Abilene. Where's that area? We'll chat with him in a second. Amarillo. There it is. Linda, are you a first time viewer? I don't think I've seen you on before. Welcome. Just the way this works. Hey, if you're out there watching, please drop your location out. We'd love to know where you're at. I'm in Seattle. Well, Shoreline. It's close to Seattle. We've been getting a lot of rain, but thankfully not a whole lot of snow. We did have a little bit of sprinkling. This year has been like the apocalypse or something because we've had snow. So we do bring on Scott King, long, frequent viewer. Scott did not have any rain this week. Scott, drop your
last week, or maybe I heard the wrong news.
Get informed. You're not a very good producer, Shawn. Come on.
Yeah, that's a big. You guys got more states to keep up with. I may have more land area, but I've only got 10 provinces, 3 territories.
It's true. It's funny. I was talking to somebody. Talking to somebody online. They were messaging me, and they're in the UK. And he said he sent me a message. Said 3 so for a time. He said 3 p.m. U.S. time. And I'm like, what is that? U.S. time? What do you mean? We got if you count Hawaii, we got 5 or 6 time zones.
You know what? We have that same problem. And in Saskatchewan, we decided a long time ago, to hell with changing clocks and whatnot. We don't do it anymore. We haven't done it. We haven't done it for at least 30 years.
That's amazing. I'll tell you the problem with that though is when I lived in Arizona, same thing. They don't change it either, but it's harder to keep track of because everywhere else does. So we're hopefully here in the States, our Congress actually voted to say we're going to stop doing it, but that just sort of means maybe in a decade or so, we'll be able to get rid of it. I don't know. So there is that. Hey, Scott, drop your links down below. If you're a hypnotist, a healer, somebody, drop your links down below. Hey, if you just sell makeup, whatever, drop a link below and let us know where people can find you. Linda does say it's her first time here. That's fantastic. Scott also has a store over on Etsy. Go check out some of his recordings. He's got some very unique ones. I want the one on becoming a black belt. I think it was. I saw one. It was or get better at martial arts or something. So that was pretty cool. Danny Marie, she's in Covington. Wow. Oh, don't tell me it's going to snow tonight. Hopefully just in Covington, not near me. Danny, are you a first-time watcher as well? We'd love to have you on. Our guest is obviously a bringer. He is obviously bringing a lot of new guests on. Well done. We got Alan Sands, good friend of mine, Hypnosis Bootcamp. If you want to learn stage hypnosis, man, what a great opportunity. You get to go hang out with them, him and lovely Lisa Kucinich, and Alan's quite lovely as well. And they will actually teach you stage hypnosis and get you up on stage. So Linda says she's got back from a jazz show. You crazy kids and your jazz music and your drinking and all that stuff. Claire Daly from New York City did a great show. Excellent. And Danny is also a first-time viewer. All right. Without further ado, Shawn, drop your links down below too, of course. And please put the Hypnosis Hero app link down there. We want to get people over there. Download the app. Tonight, we have a guy on that really, I mean, he should have been on here much sooner. Thank goodness we've got him on now. I've known this guy literally for decades, but I think we just started becoming better acquainted, better friends over the last, couple of years or something. In fact, for like 15 years, Shawn didn't even know where he was. It's a long story, and we'll get into it. But without further ado, this guy, he is a massage practitioner, or he was. I think he still teaches. I'm not sure if he does it anymore. We'll find out. He's a Reiki master. He's a business owner. He's a swell fella. And, of course, he is a hypnotist. Please give it up for my friend, Tim Barlen. Hello, Tim.
Hey, Jim.
This thing is taken out with my hosting abilities. It's going to be like the Joe Rogan podcast within a short time.
Yeah. This is the first time I think I've ever been called a swell fella.
Well,
I'm not the only one that's old here.
And he said, hold on. Now, oh my goodness. Wow. He's sexy too. Linda Mullen says, clearly talking about me. Even though Tim came on right at that time.
I don't know how to type into this thing. So I would be answering things saying hello. Danny's my niece.
Oh, Danny.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's an incredibly wonderful young woman. And
hi, Danny.
Yeah, that's her. And Linda's been a friend of mine for a while. She's like she said, she's in New York. She's amazing. Damn.
She wanted to clarify. No, it's Tim. It's Tim is the sexy one. Sorry, Shawn. You and me. Whatever. It must be the haircut.
This is getting like hippie-ish long already for me. So
I was going to say something about it. You're not really upholding your standards here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Uncle Tim. I'm so proud of you. Oh, that's sweet. I love it.
Oh.
Be nice if one of my nieces watched, but they don't care. Good for you, Tim.
Occasionally, I try to be nice to family members. So
there you go. I think road trip to New York is in order for you, Tim. You need to get out there to see Linda. Maybe you've already seen Linda. Never mind. Anyway, Alan's on a plane heading to Iowa. Good to see you. Alan Sands, one of our featured speakers on the Performing Hypnosis Summit, which is coming up next weekend. People, if you're a hypnotist, you need to be at that summit. We've got about 40 hours right now of content. We've got Marshall Silver, Tim Silver. We've got everybody except Tim Barlen, who's our star tonight. So go over and get that, performinghypnosissummit.com. Tim,
Yes.
So let's go back in time if we could. What did I miss in your bio? Because I just did a brief bio. Tell us more about you, Tim.
Oh, geez.
I mean, your niece is watching, so you can't talk about the OnlyFans, of course. But
I know that's that, but I am making a lot of money from it. So
clearly, yes.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, aren't I a candidate for OnlyFans? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, my first interest.
Yeah.
Where do I want to start? Well, when people ask me what I do, I used to say I'm a hypnotist.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't much anymore. I because I know that when people ask what you do, they don't want the tagline on your business card. Right. And in the past, when I've said, well, I'm a hypnotist, I get really interesting responses. One and I've had this several times, that I find I think it's just funny. It's just really funny. You know, they'll say, well, what do you do? I said, I'm a hypnotist. And they'll go,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, and look away as though just by merely me going,
exactly.
You know,
well,
boom. Yeah. Or they'll say, you know, oh, can you hypnotize me? And I'll go, yes.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Or they'll go, well, you can't hypnotize me.
Right.
And people that say that, I'll just go, you're right.
Yeah. It's funny how they get deflated. They're kind of like, it's funny. Oftentimes you can tell they're like disappointed that you didn't argue with them and try to convince them. They're like, what?
Right.
Oh,
yeah. It's generally people that say that it's a sort of a back way of saying, will you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you have to convince me first. And I'm like, I'm not convincing anyone unless you're paying me. Maybe I will.
Right. Yeah. Or unless you want to do something silly on the street, you know, then, you know, that.
Yeah.
But so what I do is I just tell people I help them get out of their own way.
Boy, that's a great little elevator pitch right there, right?
You know, because we all have ideas and beliefs and attitudes, and we tell ourselves stories that get in the way of becoming who we really want to be, right?
Yeah.
And having the things that we want in our lives. So what I do is I help people, you know, change the beliefs, change the ideas and attitudes, and rewrite the stories in their subconscious mind. Nice. You know? But yes, I'm a hypnotist. That's how I do it. Right?
Well, you know, and it's funny you say that, Jay. I'm glad you said that because hey, let's give a shout out to Matt Weddington. Says Tim's the man. I agree. Tim is the man. And Linda agrees too.
He's a friend. He lives here in town in Ellensburg.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Really nice guy.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, Tim or Matt. And thanks for watching, Tim. You have no choice. Just to let you know, Tim, if you want, so I don't know that you have access to the live chat. If you see a button over there on the right, it says live chat, then you can do that. Otherwise, you can do you can just do private chat with Shawn and I.
Okay, I've got a live chat clicked on, but do I click this little square thing with a mouth to, or?
No, that's the help. That's the help button.
Oh, okay. How do I type in this thing, or do I not get to do that as the guest?
I'm wondering because I don't see an actual box where I can type in either.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. I don't think it's worth, you know, spending any time.
Yeah. You know, if you have your phone handy, you can probably go on your Facebook page. It looks like a lot of them are from Facebook, so you could reply to them on there. That's probably where they're at right now, if you wanted to.
Okay. Yeah.
So folks, he would love to say hi, but he can't. Sorry.
I can't. Just
I'm going to
assume I'm saying hi to everybody.
That's right. So I just want to say this. If you would like to join us on the stream, I'm going to post a link right now. where you could actually join us and you could talk to us. You ask Tim questions, whatever. You could also get hypnotized live on the air, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking with Tim. One of my favorite people, really. I'm not just saying that. I mean, I know we say that a lot, but really, he really is just as I said, a swell fella. I want to dive in a little bit deeper and let people know how swell you are. But after about 30 to 45 minutes, probably, we're going to start doing hypnosis right through the screen. You're going to get hypnotized through the screen, people. It's awesome. If you're one of those people that have thought that, well, you can't hypnotize me, stay tuned. And Tim will.
Yes.
Danny says that she would, except she's got a screaming baby in the background. Okay, well, probably not a good idea then.
That actually, the screaming baby may be a sign and to help you relax even more, Danny.
Oh, wow. What a great suggestion. Indeed. Yeah. And Michael Brody, love Michael. He shows up all the time. He's also performing on the Performing Hypnosis Summit. He's going to be talking about props, and he does a puppet thing. Hello, gentlemen. All three are the man. I love it. Love it. All right. So, Tim, I want to tell us. So, back in around 1999, you came to a class at Seattle Massage School, and you did Reiki in that class. And my teacher at the time invited you. Her name was Obi Rowe at the time, but she changed it. Do you like to Rowan? I don't know. Do you know what she changed? I don't know if you were in touch with her or not. Okay. And I believe I believe it was her. Anyway, I had such a crush on her. She was so cute. Anyway, beyond that, what was that? What were we talking? Oh yeah. Memories. No, anyway. So Tim actually came to my class. I was doing massage at the time, and he did Reiki. And if you're a Reiki practitioner, you know that you don't have to feel anything for the Reiki power to help you. But I did feel something, and I don't think it was a placebo. It really felt like some sort of energy or something. And I thought about this for years, and I got to tell you, it was after I started doing hypnosis, I started going, man, I want to find that guy, because I want to learn Reiki from that guy. And then the oddest thing happened. I'm at a party, and I'm talking. I don't know why I was telling these people this story, and they go, Tim Barlen. They go, oh, he lives right over in Ellensburg. And I go, what? And so I'm like, okay, so because I don't think I can remember your name. So anyway, I look on Facebook. I'm going to go try to find the guy on Facebook. Boom, we were already Facebook friends because we're both hypnotists and we're both connected already. It was crazy.
And then I came to one of your shows.
That's right, you did.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then we went out and drank excessively, and eventually got out of jail.
Exactly. Eventually.
Well, all of that's true except for the last two things.
As far as you all know, we have Danny wants to know if you can hypnotize babies, Tim.
I can. Yes. Well, yes. Sort of. I mean, Reiki's really good at calming babies down.
Nice.
I've been told that just give the baby to me, and they tend to just kind of snuggle in and fall asleep.
Ah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Linda
I don't like teaching elementary school, by the way. That's not me.
Linda, let's chat later.
I would definitely chat with Linda later. She's got to get to bed, Tim. I don't know. Anyway, groupies, love them. Hypnotists have far fewer groupies than you might imagine, too. And
imagine that, yeah.
She's tried some Reiki. So, Tim, tell us a little bit about Reiki, because isn't there someone? You're doing an event tomorrow, right, or this weekend?
On Sunday, yes.
Yeah.
Boy, Reiki's energy work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not something that you actually have to believe in. It just, if you have a willingness to have someone just gently place their hands, not just anybody, of course, but I mean somebody that does Reiki place their hands on you. You will have quite an amazing experience. My first first time that I heard about Reiki, I was a disbeliever. I was very skeptical. I actually thought the woman maybe had taken like way too much acid. So but I was polite. I didn't say that to her, you know. And then my sister got attuned, and I teased her for about a year. And then she came down from Victoria, BC. Great place. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I came down, and after about like 10 minutes of receiving Reiki from her, I just felt these waves of energy flowing through my body. I mean,
wow.
it just like blew my mind. And so it was like right then I went, I need this. I need to do this.
Yeah.
Fast forward, I became a Reiki instructor and have been teaching people for, I don't know, 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, it was the first workshop, first hands-on workshop that I taught in the massage school. Because it's one of those things that it was so easy for people to have an experience of success, you know, with it. It was like they could feel it and there would be something going on. They knew it, you know, so that's the reason that we taught that as one of the very first modalities. Yeah. Nice. And this workshop that two of my friends and I are doing on Sunday at this amazing, phenomenal Airbnb here in town called the Harriet House. One of my Reiki students is going to be doing Reiki sessions for the guests. Another dear friend of ours is going to be doing chakra alignment. And then I'm going to be doing hypnosis. Yeah.
Excellent.
For all the guests. It's actually going to be a lot of fun. You know, it'll be a blast. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Now you're in a, and I know it's a college town, Ellensburg, because you still live in Ellensburg, right?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. But it's a rather small town. It's out in the middle of kind of nowhere, Washington.
Pretty much right in the middle of the state.
Right. Right. Do you have, is it difficult there with maybe people aren't as sophisticated in their knowledge of these kind of alternative modalities, I guess?
Well, Ellensburg generally, overall is a fairly conservative town.
Yeah.
You know, with a wonderful group of more liberal-minded people.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. But in answer to your question, yeah, it's probably a little more difficult than say if I lived in Seattle or a larger town, because we're not huge. You know, the cool thing though is that, like what we're doing now, you know, hypnosis can be done over Zoom. It can be done online. And that's one of the questions I get asked a lot is, well, how can you do it online? You know?
Right.
And I just tell people, well, think of you being here in my office with your eyes closed, listening to me give you positive suggestions. And now think of you being at home with a computer on, with your eyes closed, listening to me give you positive suggestions.
Right. And it's like, oh, yeah.
You know, there's certain things that you know that we do in a session with someone that's with us. You know, like maybe pick up their arm and let it drop, and you know, just test physical tests for relaxation that we can't do, of course, you know, over a screen. But there's so much that we can do that doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know, it's funny when I started doing the Zoom work, years before the pandemic even. And I remember like even some of their hypnotists were like, you know, how do you do that? How do you do it over the Zoom? You know, because, you know, don't you have to this and that? And I'm like, I get people on the phone. I'll do it on the telephone. I mean, you love to look in their eyes and see the catalepsy maybe, or, the movement. You love to be able to pick up the arm. I love to shake their hand and look them in the eye. But if that's not available, what the heck, right? Yeah.
Right.
We don't need all those things, which people for so long, I think, just really felt like they had to have that in-person contact. I'm like telling people, there's no magical force that I'm going to, shoot at you in the office, So
I told my boss that I got my certification as a hypnotherapist, and the very first thing he said to me was, "I will never look you in the eye ever again." And Tim, he's about as tall as you are. I said, "So that's good. I'll watch for you in the hallway so you don't crush me when you walk by."
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of myths. There's a lot of beliefs that people have about what we do that we just. I like to tell people what it is as opposed to what it's not.
Yeah.
Because there's more things that it's not than what it really is.
True.
Right?
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can be a long list, right?
But yeah.
It's
not. Yeah. But anyway, so
yeah.
My clients, I just tell them what it is and what they may expect. Like their mind's going to be awake and alert.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be asleep. They're not going to become a zombie. They're going to be in control. They'll get more control over, their mind, over their thoughts and beliefs and, behaviors and emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Hollywood does a great job of sensationalizing it. So
it really does. Yeah.
I don't think they've got it right yet, and they've been at it longer than all of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, literally, I don't think there's been a single movie or TV show that's portrayed it accurately. So, yeah.
I haven't seen it if there is.
Will be boring, right? I mean, somebody comes in your office, they quit smoking. What?
And they walk out not wanting it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it would be a pretty boring TV show. So, I mean, to their credit, I guess they got to make the movies sensationalized if they're going to talk about it.
Sure.
Tim, I want to ask you. We're going to dive into a couple of things. I'm going to take a break to run over and plug your socials so people that are watching and are listening later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everything, so they'll hear these where you're at. In the meantime, be thinking about and tell us. I want to hear an interesting story, either your experience of being hypnotized or someone else's, and I also want to find out if any kind of hypnosis fails. I love to hear those funny stories. And then like a really good success story. And I think I should write these down. This is a good kind of a combination.
Sure.
And then also want to find out how you got into hypnosis. So you think about that for a moment. Hey, if you're listening later on all of the podcasting platforms, of course, you're going to go over, look into my eyes or listen to my voice as I direct you over to giving us a really high review. And then and subscribing. Tim Barlen Hypnosis on Instagram shares a lot of inspirational stuff. He shares a lot of stuff with me, which is really inspirational, I'll tell you. And then on Facebook, of course, it's Tim Barlen Hypnosis. Go to his website, timbarlenhypnosis.com. I'm Jim Kellner. Shawn Kostiuk is, of course, my producer and co-host for the night. And, of course, tonight's guest is Tim Barlen. Michael Brody has a question for you. So Michael Brody is I don't think he does any hypnotherapy, but maybe. He's a stage hypnotist out in the Midwest somewhere. He asks, hey, Tim, do you have any induction techniques that we hypnotists can use to hypnotize people who can't focus or are hypersensitive, it sounds like? I bet he does.
Sure. Yeah. And they're really a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
To hypnotize people, there's one of two things that you need to do. One is to overload their mind or their subconscious, or to shock it. And I don't mean necessarily, I'm not talking about electricity or cattle prods or anything, which would be like great in this town. But no, what I mean by shock is to cause a brief confusion, because when the mind is confused, it immediately searches for resolution. Like, what now? What do I do?
Yeah.
So there, and then as hypnotists, when we can cause that confusion like really quickly, then they're knowing that their mind has stalled. That's when we tell them what to do. Mm-hmm. So, Michael, learning, like a hand drop induction, or handshake. Once I learned how to do the handshake, induction, it was just like, oh, this is so much fun. Nice. Things like that. Also, just shaking somebody's hand. Now, realize that you have to tell people in advance. It's ethical to tell people that, and ask them if they're willing to be hypnotized. Yeah, because they need. I think it's ethical for us to ask permission. Yeah. Yeah. So if they say yes, then kind of it's fair game.
To put your hand out and pretend like you're going to shake their hand, and then boom.
Yeah, pretend like you just shake their hand, and then you don't, and then their mind, because it's ingrained in us to, when you stick your hand out, somebody will stick their hand out, and then you do this. Mm-hmm. What happens to the mind if you go like this, and they stick their hand out, and then you do that? Yeah. And then gently grab their wrist and turn their hand up and put it in front of their face. Mm-hmm. Like that, the mind goes, what? Yeah,
right.
What? Into the confusion. And then you just tell them. Then you tell them, okay, no, close your eyes and sleep.
Yeah.
So people that are like hypersensitive or like over-focused learn and use a speed induction or an instant induction.
Mm-hmm. Good advice. I've been trying to learn some handshake, because I used to think the handshake induction was kind of BS, because like if you just walk up to some guy on the street and try to do a handshake induction, he's probably going to punch you, right? If you don't.
You don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless so you got to get that permission. And then once I understood the mechanics of it and started studying it a little bit more, I was like, wow. And then actually practicing it, it's very good. I've had it done on me, and it's that weird thing where you are confused and you're just looking for some direction. What do I do? And somebody says, sleep or relax, whatever. And okay, good.
Just close your eyes.
Yeah.
You go, okay. I mean,
exactly.
I've had it done on me, and I know it's going to happen.
Right.
But it still works. That's what's so weird about it. These things, like a hand drop, I know what's coming.
Right.
I know that with it, there's going to be in a few moments, something's going to happen. Right. But when it does, it's like,
exactly.
They just work.
Shawn, do you have any instance that you are particularly fond of?
I do tend to favor the handshake and induction, particularly when I'm working with people. I have one lady that I did a lot of practice with before she moved away, and for her, it didn't even have to really bother with anything other than sleep, and that was it for her, and she was on her way. So she had a very open and well-trained mind for that. So
nice. Oh, you know what? I just remembered how. Hold on, Shawn. Could you repeat that? I was focused on something else. This thing that you asked me in the chat. Say that again. You were practicing with the woman.
Yeah. So one of my friends actually. She was hypnotized in high school in a stage show, and once she figured out exactly, what I was studying and whatnot, she was, you know, use me as an example. And I have lots of video that I should probably crunch and get out onto TikTok and YouTube and so on and so forth. But lots of video of us practicing and whatnot. And before she moved away, the very last session that we had, it was actually out in my backyard in summer, because it's warm in Canada in summer, at least in this part. And you know, it was, you know, a couple different really quick inductions. I was more trying to demonstrate the street hypnosis side of things for a group that I was going to present to. And the very last one, I could already tell she was so far out of it, I didn't need to shake her hand or anything. I just went to sleep, and that was it. She was out. So I think that's something that people don't realize, and we as hypnotists and hypnotherapists do need to tell people this is a cumulative effect. Once you learn how to do it, and you learn how to do it well, you can learn to do it for yourself and do it well, and then you don't really need us to do the change. Now, I don't want to say that too loudly, because we all have, you know, bank accounts riding on this, but you know, my goal has never been to bleed somebody dry just to get a paycheck. It was always, okay, I'm gonna help you with the change that you want now, and we're gonna do it as quickly and efficiently as possible. Then I'm gonna show you how to do this yourself, and you're away to the races. And I've had very few people say, "Oh no, don't show me that, because I'm gonna come back to you and spend more money."
Right.
You know, but they do come back anyway, and they do say, you know what, I know I can do this myself, but I got better results with you. And actually, I'm working with a lady right now. I worked with her 5 years ago. She wanted to quit sugar. And, you know, I've told this story a couple times, but she came in from a smaller town, and Tim Hortons is the famous coffee chain in Canada. I don't like, not my cup of coffee, let's put it that way. I'll drink coffee from these guys. Shameless plug, Starbucks. You know, when you pick up on this, you can send some stars my way. Anyway, she came into town. We did her session. It was about, I don't know, 20 minutes. Another person with an exceptionally open mind and very, very clear to you know, jump in. I think her induction at that time was like 2 minutes, if that. And she left 20 minutes later and stopped at the drive-thru. And you know, when you order a double, that's 2 cream and 2 sugar in Canada. She ordered a double, didn't think anything of it, got home, and I get this text message like, what the hell? And then I get a phone call, like a panicked phone call. I said, what the hell did you do to me? I said, what did I do to you? And she says, I drove through the drive-thru and I ordered a double. And she said, like what? How did that happen? I said, well, that's what you wanted, wasn't it? Well, yeah. Well, then what's the problem? You know, leave the mind magic to me. That's, you know, that's the change that you wanted. That's what we did. And she came back to me just a few last month or so, and she said, you know, to this day, I still don't order a double. I'll still only order a double. I've cut my sugar consumption down to almost nothing, you know, not a piece of wedding cake or something like that. And that's what she wanted. It was 20 minutes.
That's amazing.
That's great.
Yeah. You know, and on a side note, Tim, Shawn actually got almost 500,000 views on TikTok on a video. And then he didn't make another video for what, 6 months, a year, something like that.
So yeah, so here's the story. And actually, I think I still have the watch here somewhere. Hang on.
Be sure and put your handle in the chat when it gets time for when you're done with telling the story.
Yep. Oh, come on, where is it?
Can I say
when you have a tech backpack, you have too many pockets. That's the problem.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim. What was that?
Yeah, something about hypnosis, and I've known this for years. I've seen it happen with my clients, and I'm sure it's happened in the past when I've been hypnotized. But I've recently had I had a session with one of our colleagues. You know Debbie Taylor?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a session with Debbie, Now, it was for, well, not, without getting into like details, you know, it was about one issue. As a result of unraveling that one issue, there's been this cascade of positive benefits.
Oh, that's awesome.
That has happened. You know, everything from being more productive, like getting up and just like doing things, you know, procrastination has just disappeared for me.
Wow.
And I used to be like the king.
Wow.
I could procrastinate so well. I knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And you know, I just felt like it was part of my DNA. It was like, oh, well, that's it. No more. No more. It's all really, one of the other benefits is that it has what it has done is it has increased the quality of my communication with people.
Wow.
That in the past, I would hold things back due to some underlying fear.
Yeah.
And since that is disappeared, I'm able to communicate with people just directly about things, and there's no issue happens as a result
fantastic.
of it. You know, like when we meaning me, I would hold back in my communication with people if there was something wrong due to I felt that if I did, it would cause problems, and I'd prefer not to have problems.
Yeah.
You know, but it would build up and build up and build up, and then it became a real problem.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
Right. Now it doesn't build up anymore. It's really weird. And I notice it happening.
Wow.
You know, I notice me like talking and communicating with people in situations where in the past I would not have. And then the thing just kind of disappears.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing how
all
it works.
Because of like procrastination and stuff. I mean, so there's a snowball effect. You know, it's like dominoes. It's generative change. You knock a domino over, the whole picture becomes something different. So hypnosis does that for people.
You know, and I love what you said too, Tim, about it. You really felt like it was part of your DNA. That was you. That was who you were. And I find so many people, I hate the phrase, just be yourself. And I know it's kind of a cliche thing and it's, whatever, just be, but who are you really? You know, are you a procrastinator or are you not? Was that somehow you picked up that habit? So I think we tend to get a little too latched on to who we think we are. And, people don't even think they can change. Like, you didn't think you could get over the procrastination. It's who you are. And look at that. Change right there.
I like with clients that come to me, and they use the terminology. I am this.
Yeah.
I'm a procrastinator. I'm a smoker. You know, I say, oh, well, do you smoke 24 hours a day? And they'll go, no. So there's sometimes where you don't smoke. And they'll go, yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
So are you a smoker when you don't smoke? And they'll go, well, no. So you're not a smoker. It's just something you're doing sometimes during the day, right? And they'll go, yeah. And I said, so do you procrastinate 100% of the time? Are you always putting everything off? Which would mean that you just don't move. You're just frozen in time. And they'll go, well, no. Right. So, it's the things that we say, I am a smoker, I'm a procrastinator, I'm this, I'm that. Really, that's not true. It's about a behavior.
Right.
It's not about your identity. It's about a behavior.
Yeah.
right? And if it's something that you're doing, it can also be something you can stop doing. Yeah,
exactly.
But you can't stop being yourself.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that reframe a lot.
I do too. Yeah, that was great too. I love the idea. I've never used that before. Do you smoke, 24 hours a day? I love that.
Yeah, because you got to sleep.
Right.
And you eat. And yeah.
Well, you're supposed to, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So Shawn, you found your watch?
I did find my watch, but I want to talk about a little bit more about what you said, because you're attacking their identity. And actually, you're probably attacking more than one identity at the same time. And I tend to look at it, because I'm an IT guy and have been for a long time. Networks now aren't like they used to be. In the old days, a network was I'll plug one computer in on one side, one computer in on the other side. These days, computers and networks are a mesh, and you have to literally cut off multiple pathways in order to disrupt that network. And that's really what you're doing, is that you're literally, well, you're not doing that all the time, slice. Well, you're not doing that all the time, slice. Yeah. And all of a sudden, people start unraveling, and that's very unnerving for people, because they've relied on that identity for so long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great points.
Right.
Great points.
And what we do then is, we give them something else. We give them another behavior, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Something more positive about themselves, that they become more efficient about what they're doing. They're a healthier human being. They breathe, more, yeah. So as opposed to, if you're going to attach an identity to something, maybe a healthy human being's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's scary for people, though, because if you've lived an unhealthy lifestyle or relied on unhealthy habits to get you to a certain point, they really need that reassurance, and they need that underlying build, that foundation, to be solidified before they'll accept that that's even possible.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
I was so I've been doing some thinking, because I'm still working on my book. Everybody who's waiting for the book, I know the people are lining up for it.
I want a signed copy.
You'll definitely get a signed copy, not from me, but I'll have Tim sign it. I'll have my people sign it for you.
It's okay, I can forge anybody's signature. Do you want Genghis Khan? I can do that.
It's funny you mention that, because that's one of the things I say. My mom used to always say, just be yourself. And I was like, should Genghis Khan have just been himself? Would that have been a good idea? Should Hitler have just been himself? No, we probably want different behaviors out of those guys, right? That's the extreme. But I'll tell you, so I've been thinking a lot about this idea of the identity, and what really, what I think that I am right now is really just choices, behaviors, attitudes, thoughts, experiences that I've had. And I was thinking, it's sort of like the metaphor I came up with was like, brand new car. When you're a baby, you're a brand new car. You don't have any scratches and bruises or anything like that. Well, probably, unless it was a tough delivery, but you get the idea. Like a brand new car, you came off the assembly line, everything worked great. And then, some knucklehead opens their door and you get a little scratch. You get a little ding here and a ding there, and the windshield gets chipped. So am I that identity now, or am I the original identity? So we don't even know who we are right now, because it's been shaped.
Yeah.
Well, for sure.
We give
first 7 years, right? When you're a child, you don't have a yes, no. It's just everything is yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're just literally taking it in. And oftentimes when I talk to parents of children, I ask them, do you yell a lot? Because the minute you raise your voice, you're capturing that trance and you're hijacking it. And whatever you're saying is going right into the subconscious.
What a great point.
Yeah.
And, personally, I've given a lot of thought too. So there was this point when I was about 16, I was really into martial arts and being healthy. I I would try to stay in try to good shape. And I remember I got a job at Red Robin, and I had it all figured out. I was going to go take karate lessons from the guy in Yakima, Washington, Morris Mack, I believe was his name. And I was so excited. I was going to get some nunchucks and some tonfa. I was going to get all the stuff. And because my parents couldn't afford the martial arts, so I was going to pay for it myself, and I was going to do that. But I'll tell you what, that first check that I got, I went out with some friends, first time going out to a dance, spent $20, gave some guy $20, half case of beer. I got blitzed, and my whole life changed because of it. That for the next 3 years, I was, at least every weekend and many nights of the week, I was drunk. And so my healthy habits went out the wayside, and my commitment to doing martial arts and this kind of stuff was just, nope. I don't like exercise. I don't like movement, until I got to a point. And so I'm like kind of at a place now where I'm like, what if I could go back? And, Erickson talks about this. We should all have a bunch of different histories. I'm trying to go back in with hypnosis and kind of rewrite that history. What if I had not gone out that night? What if I would have followed through with that plan? So that's just, Anybody else have that kind of experience, those pivotal moments where things happened?
Oh yeah. There's I can think of at least a dozen in my life where if I had turned left instead of right, things would have either been way better or way worse. I believe Mr. Spock once said history is replete with turning points. And everybody that's on the call, I'm sure you'd probably think of 3 or 4. There's probably a whole lot more that you've compiled over time.
Yeah.
That you don't realize, that if you really had to sit down and think about it and you start bringing those to the surface, it's like, yeah, what if I would have done that differently? And what if I would have done that differently? Like, for me, we moved around a lot. I think in 25 years of living, I moved probably 30 times. And that counts university and back and forth and whatnot, right, to and from home. But we moved around a lot. Later on, you find out why. Well, Dad was into the alcohol, and either he lost a job when we had to move, or something happened and we had to move. When he finally did get somewhat stable, the bank that he was working for transferred him. And then was going to transfer him again 6 months later because he did such a great job. Well, that's not good for the kids that are in school, but good that he did a good job. But those things, probably the biggest turning point in my life was finding out about it. My dad was recovering. We were already in North Battleford, so I would have been about grade 5. My birthday is in January, so it's often cold months. There's really not much of a birthday party to go outside and do anything with. So didn't really have any friends because we had just moved. And I remember him in the basement shaking because he was coming off the alcohol. And I remember looking up into the light. My dad was a hider, and seeing the bottle in the light, and knowing that, okay, something's not right with that. And what he gave me was just a wee little plastic 3-level desk organizer that you could kind of, it's kind of like a Lazy Susan where you could pop the tray open and it would spin open. And I'm pretty sure from that point on in my life, that's where my organizational skills took over. And they were just absolutely ramped up, to the point that, before I was married, everybody said I was absolutely the most anal guy for organization. But, McDonald's benefited from it because I'd show up 40 minutes early for my shift, run through the entire checklist, make sure I had my entire game plan for the night because I was managing the floor. Wow. And I was still one of the only managers that was able to save like 15 to 20% easily on labor and still get everybody served and out the door on time. So, but it was a reaction, and I know that because I can see it throughout my life. There was a reaction to that one instance where I just happened to look up and it just happened to see.
Yeah. Wow. Tim, how did you get into hypnosis? It's a weird, wacky thing, but of course you're already into weird and wacky stuff. So what happened?
Yeah. Well, my first attraction to it was reading the funny papers when I was a kid, and it had that guy, Mandrake the Magician.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange was another one.
Dr. Strange, yeah. Mandrake Magician was one of the first superheroes because not only could he do magic, but he was also a hypnotist.
Mm.
And he would hypnotize the bad guys into thinking they couldn't move, they were in a jail cell, or their feet were encased in cement, or they were being wrapped up by a boa constrictor, so they couldn't move. So he would hypnotize them, and then the police would come and get them. Anyway, that just stuck in my mind. Yeah. And then when I got, older, I was reading a lot and got fascinated by NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and took a workshop in that. And part of NLP, one of their tools or techniques is hypnosis. And that became kind of what I really started to like doing. I became really fascinated by it. And I just started taking course after course after course. And, from everything from quitting smoking, I have taken an amazing stage hypnosis course. I don't do stage hypnosis, but what I learned in it helped me with teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, like we were talking earlier about, HypnoThoughts Live, and I've gone there, it's just continuing my education in it,
Yeah.
and getting hypnotized myself. I think that's key. We need, as practitioners, we need to have the experience so that we can relate to our clients more fully.
I agree. Absolutely. I use hypnosis all the time.
Yeah.
Almost every day, probably every day, almost nearly every day. I listen to something. Tim, what do you got? What's the most interesting client you can remember working with, or issue?
Wow. Interesting.
Or funny, or hypnosis fail. Tell us a story, Tim. That's what I want. Just tell us a story.
Okay. I'll tell you a story. I got introduced to a family of smokers.
Yeah. Whole family of them.
There were 4 of them.
Okay.
Yeah. The impetus for one of them, the woman who wanted to quit smoking, was because they were doing in vitro fertilization, and the doctors would not do it unless she had quit smoking. So she and her husband wanted to do it, and then her mother, and then her brother, came on. Yeah. So everybody but the brother really wanted to quit. The brother was one of these, well, yeah, but
I'll try.
Yeah, I'll try it. Yeah. So he wasn't successful. Yeah. Because he didn't want to.
He didn't do it. He tried. He tried to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't, as we say, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Yeah. So it's important that the person wants to do it. One thing that I really like, we were talking about, when you tell people what you do, their response is, I was on the street here in Ellensburg, just walking down, and I ran into a couple of people that I knew, and they said, "Oh, what do you do?" I hadn't seen them in a while, and what are you doing? I said, "Well, I'm doing hypnosis and stuff." And their friend that was with them, he got immediately fascinated. It was like, oh, hypnosis.
Yeah.
And he said, I said, can you hypnotize me? And I said, yes.
Yeah.
When? and I said, now?
Ooh, yeah.
And he went, can you? I go,
yeah.
Yes. And so I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. And I said, are you right or left-handed? And he said, right. I said, okay. And I pointed at his hand and lifted my finger up.
Mm-hmm.
And as I did that, his hand started to come up. I stuck my hand out.
Yeah.
And he stuck out to shake my hand, and I grabbed it by the wrist.
Yeah.
And stepped to the side, lifted it up, and put it in front of his face, and just said, "Sleep." And he just goes, and he was standing on the sidewalk, bent over at the waist in trance. And so I just said, I just gave him a bunch of really positive suggestions about how wonderful he was and how his day was going to be so amazing. And 3 minutes later, he was standing up, going, "Wow." Wow. I said, "You feel good, don't you?" And he goes, yeah. I said, "You're going to have a really good day, aren't you?" And he goes, "I am." I go, "Yes, you are." Yeah.
I love that, continuing with the suggestions. You feel great, don't you? You're going to have a great day.
Yeah. Because they're still in trance, really.
Right. Yeah.
That the trance kind of won't recede, right away, and so that was fun. I kind of like that, people that don't want to be hypnotized, don't want the effect, they're not going to do what you ask them to do anyway.
Right. Yep.
So, but the ones that want it, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Almost every single time, if they want it, it's going to happen for them. Almost every time. Shawn, are you do it now? Can you hypnotize right now? And you go, yes, let's do it.
I often remind my colleagues, they'll say, "Oh, I'm so stressed. I'm so this, I'm so that, blah, 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 blah." And I just say, "Well, how do you know you're not hypnotized already?"
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that just drives them bonkers. And actually today we had a larger meeting of our consultant and coordinator group, and somebody had mentioned that right in the meeting. Shawn will just tell you that you're hypnotized already. I said, and I just leaned over. I said, "Yeah. Would you like me to hijack that for you?" No. So, but yeah, I if one of them actually said, "Yeah, let's do it," let's do it.
I love that. I used to be like, well, no, you have to come to my office, or you have to come up on stage or something. And then, I saw something in a forum, like never pass up an opportunity to dazzle people with hypnosis. And so ever since then, if you ask me, unless I'm busy or something, or you irritate me in some way, then I won't. But like if you come at me and go, "I bet you can't hypnotize me." You're right. I can't. Goodbye. But I just had an experience
them too, because you're not fighting back.
Yeah. Well, I know I get messages from people that have watched my videos online, and they'll say things like, "I bet you can't hypnotize me." And I'm like, okay, what? What do I care?
Right.
You're not paying me. What do I care? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to convince me that everything that I've done, all of the,
Right.
thousands of people I've worked with that have gotten good results, you're not going to convince me that none of that happened.
Exactly. Hey, if you're out there watching, please do go find Tim. He's an awesome guy, really a swell fella. Go find Shawn too. Shawn is he's working his day job, but he's still taking some clients, doing some shows coming up, I think. Right, Shawn?
Yeah, I've actually just last week officially partnered with a friend of mine who is a magician in our capital city of Regina. It is going to be very fruitful because we can cover a lot of the schools, as he's already done some magic shows there. We already have a show lined up in November for sure, but we are now combining our efforts and targeting targeting schools and corporations for mental health related shows. And for him, of course, it's a lot of the sleight of hand and illusions. For me, it's the magic of the mind, and so we're going to combine those two together as a dual magic show and go to town.
That sounds
whichever
great.
town will take us. Yeah. So and you know what? Here's the funny thing. So Jim mentioned I still work my day job. So for 20 years, I was the IT manager for our school division, and so I dealt with all the IT stuff, including projectors and audio systems and anything that had a microchip in it or even remotely had a switch that turned on. It was an IT problem automatically. Didn't really matter. And one of the guys that was a rep for our projector line that we bought into and a lot of our audio equipment, the last guy that was there before I left the post was, he said, yeah, so you're a hypnotist. And he actually saw my TikTok video. So we'll segue into that in just a minute, Jim.
Yeah.
But he said, oh yeah, I just saw your TikTok video. I'm a magician. I said, really? Well, you should get on TikTok too. He says, yeah, I've got a bunch of videos and whatnot. And he says, but I can't do anything right now because of COVID. And we're talking about this right at the beginning of the pandemic. And so for a couple of years, I watched his stuff go, and after the pandemic, it just went skyrocketing. Like I don't think if he had more than 2 days off at a time last year, wow. It was amazing. But his shows were geared towards students. They were parties, corporate events. That he covered as many things as he possibly could. And I mean, for him, for us, we roll in with some minimal equipment and we're ready to go. For him, he's got like massive illusions. It takes him like 3 hours to pack in and pack out sometimes.
Wow.
His entire show, if he brings the entire show, and he's got a big cube van with all the equipment and whatnot. But yeah, just phenomenally busy, really great guy. And so we were talking, he says, I used to work with a hypnotist a long time ago. He unfortunately died in a car accident many, many years ago. And, I'd love to have another partner out on the road. I said, that's great. Except that, I'm just a few years away from having totally gray hair, or just totally shaving it off so nobody knows how old I am. One of the two. And he said, well, you know what, whatever shows you could do, we could corner a town and say, I would go in and do a magic show during the day. And then at night we could do the hypnosis and the magic show and bring the parents in as well. And have shows. And so
great.
He did surprisingly go out and do just the schools with an extra anti-bullying show. Didn't work out quite so well. The schools never bid on it. And I said, that's because that's not the focus anymore. The focus now is mental health and bringing the kids back to what they were before the pandemic started. That's the real focus. And rebuilding the students basically. And in many cases, rebuilding the staff members as well. So I said, you know what, we need to change that to mental health. And yeah, you'll have 1,000 schools in this province bite on it.
Nice.
Great.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's my corporate secret. I didn't say anything. Trademark Shawn Kostiuk.
So Tim, anything else you want to share with us before we get started with the hypnosis?
Yes. May I, do you mind if I step away from the camera just a moment? I want to get something.
Sure.
And it's a shameless plug.
Perfect.
Okay. I'll be right back.
While you're stepping away, I'm gonna do my shameless plug. Jim mentioned my TikTok video.
Right.
So my very first TikTok video, for those of you that don't know, I was on TikTok. I was probably one of about 4 of us that were on there that were hypnotists, and it was it was a gimmick. I all I did was I grabbed my watch and I started swinging it and said, if you're stressed out, we can certainly help you, unwind, blah blah blah. That was the entire video, 30 seconds. Yeah. And to this day, I don't think I've seen another video of mine or any other hypnotist that has that many views.
Shawn, I tell you, man, if you just would have kept going, you could have.
The pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I might have left my post a long time ago and been doing this full time. So
yeah. Because that's how Zach really Zach Pinson's really took off, was doing the TikTok videos, and I mean now he's doing stuff for Tony Robbins. What's the funnel guy name too? I mean it's amazing how the digital space has changed, and I know Paul Ramsey is going to talk about that during his talk with the summit. Also, what time do you get out of? I'm going to ask you this even while we're on the air. What time do you get out of work, Shawn?
For me, usually it's about 4:30 my time. Now that's it. I have some flexibility, so
that's Eastern, right?
Nope, Saskatchewan time.
Okay, what time is
it
now?
Right now we're 2 hours. We're 2 hours ahead of you. So for me, it's 10:42 right now.
Okay, because would love to schedule something with you, me, and Grant to do a run through next week for the summit.
Yeah. Just fire me off an invite, and we're good to go.
Cool. All right,
okay,
where is that?
Tim looks strangely the same. Something's wrong here.
Weird.
There's going to be some surprise that pops out.
This is where he starts his OnlyFans. If you're going to show your feet, Tim, you give us a warning, all right?
I will, sure. Yeah.
What you got for us, Tim?
Okay, talking about procrastination, I have just finally got something complete that took me, 10 years. As a body worker and owning a massage school, I heard a lot of stories about some of the ridiculous things that body workers do that would be, just like crazy, detrimental from clients, from students, and they always fascinated me. And I started writing down the stories. Yeah. And then I took the stories and adjusted them, changed them. Some I exaggerated, some I toned down. And then I wrote an advice book on how to kill your massage business.
Nice.
Yeah. And I finally got it published.
Yes.
Oh, it's backwards.
I love it.
Oh.
Kill your massage business.
Yes. Yeah. Or make it a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first one.
Sweet. That's great. And you have a book on hypnosis coming out too, don't you?
I do. Yes. Yeah. Hypnosis, NLP for body workers.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because we think differently, right?
Yeah.
We don't think basically the same way that that most people do. We see things from a different perspective. And I think that how we as hypnotists, our perspective, if it's used with body workers, it will make their job a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I've got it. Yeah, that's probably going to be out in April.
That's exciting. How is it? Is the book you just wrote, is that out there on? Oh, there it is. There's the link, everybody. It's on Amazon, of course.
It is Amazon. It's print on demand.
Print on demand. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good deal. What a great cover. Love that cover.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. I had someone do it for me. I like the idea of hiring people that know what they're doing.
You know what? I got to tell you, Tim, it really is astonishing to me. So Richard Cole, another famous Canadian, had commented on something that I had posted, what are your biggest challenges with marketing? And he commented underneath it, reframe. Why do we all feel like we have to do our own marketing? Why aren't we hiring someone, that can do it? Or for the graphics and stuff, why aren't we hiring people? I just got my website done. me and Grant put together one, Grant Saunders, and I had worked on it, I mean, over 10 hours, and it was garbage. We get to bring this guy in, and within a couple of hours, it's beautiful, you know? Really, if you're an entrepreneur, stop trying to do everything. Do what you do well and let other people do what they do well.
Right. I had the book cover I needed tweaked a little bit, and then the contents of it, I wanted it to be changed so that it be for Kindle. And I went on Upwork, and I found somebody, and they had it done like in 3 hours.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you would have spent, how long would it have taken you just to even figure out how to do it, right?
Well, yeah, I would have had to buy Photoshop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learned Photoshop.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, no, let somebody knows how to do this. I don't, I'm not going to drill my own teeth either. So
Exactly. Well, that was a point he made. He said something like, if my furnace breaks, I don't go fix it. I call the person who knows what they're doing.
I had a friend that did that once, tried to fix his own furnace light, the pilot light. And yeah, he took about a week off of work while his eyebrow grew back, and it was bad.
And I'll tell you one of the tragedies too, and I know we all see this, is there's a lot of people out there doing their own book covers, doing their own logos, and it's evident to everyone but them, I think. And they think they've done this really good job. Hey, what do you think of my book cover? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a book cover.
It's a cover, yeah.
So don't deceive yourself. I know when I create something in Canva, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. But then I recognize I'm not an artist. I don't know what really, like that font. Is that the right font for this? Yeah. Hire people. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Big believer. And you got a great product. That is a cool looking cover. That's a cover that cover is going to sell that book right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just sarcasm. I mean, it's just silliness. I don't want people to follow this advice.
Exactly.
And I even say in the introduction, don't follow this advice.
Yeah.
This will hurt your business, but have a good laugh. Read about it, have a good laugh. And if there's something in it you're doing, stop it.
Stop it.
That's one of the best skits ever. Stop it.
Right?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
You haven't watched that, people. Go look it up. Bob Newhart. Stop it. It's hilarious. All right. So we're gonna get started here. We got a great job, Tim, from Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
We got some laughs from Danny. So Tim.
Yes.
What are you gonna do for us today?
Okay. Well, for those of you who would like to maybe do some change work. Now, there's this thought that you have to know what the issue is. That when you're working with people, some people think, well, you've got to tell me what it is. No, that's not true. You don't necessarily have to know what it is, because with what we do, we work with the unconscious mind, the subconscious, other than conscious mind. Yeah. That's where the issues lie. And that's where all of the resources that we have, like this massive, I think it was Milton Erickson said, warehouse of resources.
Yeah.
And it's the part of our mind that kind of drives the bus. It's in charge. So there is ways of doing change work to where, I don't have to see it like a list of what people want to change. Yeah. I'll just leave it up to them. And there's techniques on how to help people make a difference in their lives, and I'm going to do one of them.
That's excellent. And on the screen, you're going to see a little ticker that says, do not listen while driving or moving around. This is hypnosis. You could zone out and you could crash your forklift. If you are listening, never mind. I was going to say people that are listening don't see that message, but I just gave them that message. So whether you're listening or watching, don't listen while driving or moving around. Find a place to listen to this later, and you'll have a great experience.
Yeah, don't use power tools. Put down your kitchen knives. I mean, just relax.
Yeah.
Find a place that you can sit and relax. I mean, if you're, turn your phone off. Use this time. It's for you.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself the benefit of just a while of deep relaxation and making a shift, making an adjustment in your life. So turn your phone off, put your kids outside, allow yourself to be undisturbed, unless of course you have a screaming baby in the background. And then we can use the noise to help you to relax more. Yeah. So, shall we start?
Yes. It's interesting with nobody there to look into their eyes and hypnotize them, huh?
No, I'm not. Yeah. So if you think that you're going to go into trance because it's not going to happen. Just follow these simple instructions. Follow along the best you can, because the best you can is the best, and it's perfect now. So what I'd like people to do is relax wherever you're at. If you're on a chair, just relax into the chair. If you're on your couch, relax into the couch. Just feel supported. Feel supported by wherever you're sitting. And take a breath. I have heard repeatedly that breathing is really good for you. So just take a breath and let it go. Always let your breath go. Let go of things. So what I'd like you to do now is take a breath, take a nice, long, slow, luxurious breath in, and then hold it. That's right. And now just let that breath go. And as you do, just allow your body to become slack and loose. And take another deep breath, this time a little deeper. Just a little deeper. And hold it also for a moment or two. And then let that breath go. And there may be things that you think about that you want to let go of also as you let go of that breath. And then now take another deep breath, this one deeper than the two before. Just really, really nice, slow, comfortable, deep breath. And if your eyes are open, go ahead and close your eyes. And hold it, hold it, hold it, and just let it go. Just let the breath go and let those other things that have been bothering you, that have been, you've been thinking about, just kind of let them go and just focus on your relaxation. Focus on your body. Focus on the muscles in your body. Focus on the support you're feeling. And just let things go. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go for a few moments. Just keep your attention, keep your awareness on your breathing, the sound of my voice, the words that I say, and the silence between the words, and the meaning between the words as well as the words. And just allow the sound of my voice and any sounds around you in your home or wherever you are, just allow those to help you relax also. And just relax even deeper. And feel that relaxation flow up the top of your head, down over your eyes, to where your eyes become so relaxed. Those little tiny muscles in and around your eyes, in and around your eyelids, let them become so loose, as though your eyelids have been like super glued together, as though they're just totally relaxed, heavier and heavier, just totally relaxed, and allow them to become so relaxed now that if you were to try to open them, you know that you cannot. Only when you know that you can't open your eyes, go ahead and try and find that you can't. Let's go ahead and test them. That's right. Now just quit testing and let that relaxation that you're experiencing in your eyes flow down your face, your neck, your body, as though it's like this wonderful, warm waterfall of relaxation flowing down the top of your head all the way down to your feet. And feeling that relaxation in all of the major muscle groups and even the tiny ones. And just letting go of tension and stress in every muscle, nerve, cell, and fiber of your body. Letting your body just relax now. Want it to happen, allowing it to happen. You can always do something later, but now, just relax even deeper, 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 deeper down. And just feel that feeling of your body letting go. Just letting go now. No need to hold on to anything. It'll be theirs later, or maybe not. And just let your body relax really deep, 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 deep down. Feeling slack, allowing your body to feel slack and loose. Letting go of the tension in the back of your neck. That's right. Yeah, they're doing it perfectly. Just relax, deeper down. Take a breath and go inside. And with your eyes closed, in your mind's eye, where you use your imagination, just notice in front of you there's a staircase. This beautiful staircase in front of you. And as you walk up to it, you notice that the stairs are just the right depth and the perfect length for you, as though this is a staircase that has been built for you. It's been designed for your purpose. The banisters are the right width for your hands. And as you take a step down, your body will relax even more. With each step, just double that relaxation. Just double it. And feel it in your, just feel the relaxation get stronger and stronger as you step down to the 9th step. Just feeling even warmer and more comfortable. 8, 7, 6, just doubling it. 5, 4, 3, 2, to a place where you're drawn to. 1, just feeling more relaxed than you may have felt in a long time. Just feeling just comfortably, deeply relaxed, loose and limp. That's right. Just feel that, want it. Just allow your body to continue to go on down. And you can see in front of you, there's an escalator, a set of escalators. As you walk over to it, you know that you're drawn to it. There's part of your mind, your intuition is saying that this is where you need to go as you step onto the escalator, as though you're mostly floating or flying and drifting as it goes down. And as it goes down, your body just relaxes even more. Just floating down as you hold safely onto the handrail. Just drifting, floating, as though you're a dandelion seed just floating away on a warm breeze, or just floating away like a fluffy white cloud on a summer's day, just drifting away. Just allowing your body to become even more relaxed as you go down, just kind of melting. All the tension and stress melting away, much like the wax on a lit candle melts and is no longer the same candle. It becomes different as that just melts away, much like what's happening for you now, just going down deeper and deeper, deeper, just drifting down, knowing that you're going to a place that will make a change for you, that change that you've been looking for, that shift, that tweak, that adjustment, that there's this place that you're drawn to as you drift down to the bottom of the escalator and step off onto the landing, and you notice there's a door. It's a perfect color. You kind of float over to it, then you open the door and you step outside. And you're looking down the street, completely relaxed, stress-free, tension-free, feeling wonderful, feeling a sense of curiosity, a sense of adventure, a sense of well-being, a stronger sense of well-being than perhaps you've felt in a long time. And you look and you see a set of marble stairs in front of this huge building and these 2 massive wooden doors. And you're drawn to it. You know that's where you need to go. And you just walk over, drift, float over, up the stairs. And as you get to the doors, they just open for you magically, as though the room has been waiting for you. And you step into an amazing art gallery. And as you step in, the doors just close behind you and you see other people in there, but they're off. They're a distance away and there's only slight murmuring. It's as though you're there for that reason. And there's artwork all over of different paintings, real, surreal, abstract. There's paintings of people, landscapes, watercolors. There's audio video installations. There's ceramics. There's carvings. There's statues. It's full of the most amazing, amazing art. Amazing, phenomenal creations that have been created by people's unconscious. Because what we do, how we create, is through our imagination. And everything that we experience in our life is the outcome of our imagination and the meaning that we give to the things that we have in our lives. As you walk through the art, admiring the amazing beauty in there, taking it in, soaking it in. And you walk into a room and you see across the room there's a painting on a wall, and it's got a black cloth over it. You wonder why it does. So you just walk over to it and you're so curious, you have to see what's underneath it. And you pull the cloth off, and that's the problem right there. That's the problem. And you take in, you can see all of the brush strokes. You can see the background, the foreground, the white space, the colors, the vivid colors, the muted colors of how it represents the problem that you've been wrestling with. And you stand there and you just take in all of the understandings, all the knowledge, all the learnings, and you soak it in on every muscle, nerve, cell, and fiber of your body. Just standing there, allowing your unconscious, your subconscious to take it in. And as you have taken in every bit of information, every new learning, you continue to stroll through the art gallery into another room. And once again, you see another painting on the wall, and it too has a black cloth on it. And you're drawn to it, and you drift over, walk over to it, and you yank the black cloth off, and that's the real problem there. That's the real problem. And as you stand there taking all of that information in, getting new learnings, new understandings about how things are, or how things were, and how things can be now. You're unconscious, taking in, absorbing into every muscle, nerve, cell, and fiber of your body, the new learnings, new understandings, new information, new realizations, taking it all in. That's right. Every bit of information, every new learning, soaking up into every muscle, nerve, cell, and fiber of your body as though it's been a dry sponge, just soaking up water, taking it in. And as you've gotten the last bit, you continue to walk through the art gallery with your new understanding, your new learnings, your new knowledge. And you look across and you see this painting, and it's got a purple velvet cloth draped over it. And you just walk straight to it. And you pull the velvet cloth off, and that's the solution. Right there in front of you, that's the solution. And once again, the information just floods over you like that warm waterfall of relaxation that you were feeling earlier. The information in that painting, the colors, the strokes, the foreground, the background, all of the textures, all symbolize the solution for you. You now see the solution. You now understand what you need to do. You now understand what you need to do and who you need to be. You stand there taking it all in and feeling a sense of joy, knowing that you have found the solution, a sense of joy, a sense of enlightenment, as though this has been a step in your evolution, a step towards who you want to be, who you were here, as though it's a memory, as though you're remembering something. It's not necessarily new. You can feel it as though you have been connected to this information in the past, as though you brought it with you, and at some time in your life, you may have just forgotten it. You've forgotten who you really are. You have forgotten your strength. You've forgotten your confidence. And you were making up a story about who you are. And now you see who you truly are. Who you truly are. And you allow that information to soak into every muscle, nerve, cell, and fiber of your body. Remembering, just remembering, bringing it back to you, knowing it, feeling it, absorbing it. And then you turn and walk with a sense of purpose. Walk with a sense of confidence and strength and awareness. With a sense of knowing who you truly are. Knowing who you will continue to become. Knowing that you do have the confidence to do those things that you had maybe not. God, what if I don't? All of those stories, all of those ideas and beliefs have just faded away, just drifted away, as though they've been wiped off the chalkboard in your unconscious mind, in your mind's eye. Just all of those barriers, all of those obstacles just wiped off the chalkboard. As you walk out, just with a sense of purpose, with a sense of who you truly are now. You've remembered who you are. You know who you truly are as you walk out. And as you get to the front door, they open again as a magically, and you step out onto the marble steps, and you look around and you can feel the difference in your body. There's a sense of energy, a glowing, a sense of purpose, a knowing of who you, of a being. And as you look around, you see things in a new light, a new perspective. And you can drift up, just kind of lift up and drift up higher and higher and look off into the future. Just look off into your future. And you can see out there 6 months from now. You just drift out 6 months from now and you can see the new you and who you have become in the 6 months having gotten this revelation. Having gotten these epiphanies of who you truly are and how things have completely changed in the next 6 months. Then you float down and you can see yourself there standing in front of you. And you can see the difference on your face. You can see how you hold yourself is completely different. You can see there's a glow in your eyes. There's a gleam. There's a smile on your face. There's a sense of wonder. And you can step into yourself and then turn around and you take with you all of the changes, all of the confidence, take all of the understanding, all of the knowledge, all of the power, and just drift back towards now. Just drift back comfortably and easily, only as quickly as your unconscious is making those changes permanently. Only as quickly or slowly as your unconscious has made those adjustments, has made those tweaks, has made those shifts for you to know on a conscious level who you have forgotten and who you have remembered, who you truly are. And as soon as you do, just drift down back into your body. And I'm going to count from 1 up to 5. And when I reach 5, you'll open your eyes with a sense of wonder. You'll feel amazing. You'll feel fantastic. You may want to yawn or stretch. And 1, just feel the energy flowing in your body again, hearing the sound of my voice. 2, feeling energy flowing up again, taking another deep breath. Just take another deep breath, clearing out the back of your head, back of your nose, your throat, down into your lungs. Taking another deep breath, feeling the energy flowing up. 4, energy increasing. And 5, open your eyes and just feel fantastic.
Well done. Thank you, Tim. If please post, if you're listening right now or later, we do get comments later, please post in the chat there. What that experience was like for you? Was it positive or negative? We want to hear what happened for you. That was great, Tim. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. This is fun.
My pleasure. Yeah, it's a good time, huh? Yep. Every Friday night, I get just hang out with my friends and talk about hypnosis. So it's pretty cool. So, any final thoughts, guys?
For me, if there's something that you would prefer to be different in your life, realize that it can change. Yeah.
Bravo.
I mean, if you are feeling something that if you're on an emotional or a mental level that is keeping you back, if you're holding on to these obstacles, these barriers, if you're holding on to the stories and the beliefs, realize that the only meaning they have is the one that you're giving it. And that there are a lot of people out there that can help you give it a different meaning, a meaning that will allow you to progress and become who you really want to be.
Really, really great words of wisdom there, Tim. And speaking of that, I can't remember if I actually put it in there or not. How does Debbie spell her name? Is it Debby or IE?
IE.
Debbie. And she's in the Portland area, right?
She is. And I just got her book. I know we talked about books today, but yeah, I just got her book. It's on self-hypnosis.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And she has a very unique intake. It's very thorough and amazing. Yeah.
Cool. So go look her up if you're in the, especially if you're down in the Would I spell that right? A-R. Oh, I got it spelled wrong. If you're in the Portland area, go check her out. She helped him get over his fear of baldness, and she'll help you with yours too. And Tim, you the man again. Hi, Tim. Linda's still sticking around. No, that was from earlier. Never mind. Linda's in bed.
She probably went to bed.
Definitely relaxing. Shawn, any final thoughts?
The whole session that you just did is something that sometimes I work through with my clients, at least, for 2 or 3 sessions. But it doesn't have to take that long. It can be very quick. Excuse me just a second. Sorry, I'm recovering. It doesn't have to take that long. It can be as quick as that.
Yeah. And it's amazing, so I remember a session, often I really think that we need multiple sessions to get over things, right? But I've had those ones where you just had this one session that is just perfect for you in that moment, and it can literally change your life. Totally. It's amazing.
I
love it.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. Fantastic. Guys, please stick around. I'm going to end the podcast, but please stick around for just a minute so I can tell you goodbye personally, tell you how awesome you are. And hey, if you've been watching, if you've been listening, if you watch later or listen later, please do all this stuff. Do all this stuff. I want to be the Joe Rogan of hypnosis, unless you hate Joe Rogan. And then I want to be your favorite podcaster. So get out there and do the things. Like it, share it, subscribe, everything. We're going to keep bringing on really awesome hypnotists every week. The thing I love about this show, guys, is that each week we get a different perspective. We get a different style of hypnosis. Everybody has been a little bit different. It's really cool. And just great time. If you're a hypnotist, you want to appear on the show, hit me up. And please get out there, become your own Hypnosis Hero with the Hypnosis Hero app available in the Google Play Store. Take care, be well. And of course,